Hey guys, how are we all doing? I know that, the passing of Kobe Bryant hit a lot of us. So that's why I just gave myself a day because I'm Philly, born and raised. Kobe was like huge in Philly. Then I moved to LA and he's huge in LA. So I needed time because real talk, I didn't feel like being funny. But mother's feeling a bit better. So let's get into it. So remember my last review where I was just like, I don't know what happened to the part where I talked about Tanya and Syngin. I don't know where it is, but I did promise you guys that I was going to start off this review with my thoughts on Tanya and Syngin from last week. And you know what? I realized through just reading the comments that a lot of you guys had very strong opinions about Tanya specifically from last week's episode. Your opinions were so strong. You were writing comments about Tanya, even though I didn't even talk about them in the comment section. Like, I didn't even talk about them in my last video, but you guys felt so strongly about her that you were like commenting on her in my comment section and like making assumptions on things that I said. And I was just like, I didn't even talk about Tanya. So she really pissed you guys off last week. I wasn't pissed, but I was annoyed. I feel like I was just annoyed because this is Tanya. Like, I feel like I've come to know this kind of woman that she is, and I'm no longer bothered by it or upset, just annoyed because you know what? It's Tanya. So on last week's episode, Tanya sat down with Syngin and they sat down with the spirit guide by way of Skype. And let me tell you something about this spirit guide. I was looking at this sister's face throughout this entire reading and she had no idea that she had been set up to do this ghetto reading. She was looking at this couple like, I know she wanted to say, you guys shouldn't be getting married, but that's not what I'm getting paid for. So let me just tell you what I see. So I guess this is like some spiritual reading, relationship reading or whatever. And a spirit guide or psychic, which one is it? I don't know. Because I've never heard of this kind of reading before. So I don't really know what this person is called. But I'll just say this reader was asking Tanya and Syngin if they thought that they were each other's soulmate. And Syngin, yeah, like right away, he's just like, yeah, she's my soulmate. Marry her, I want to have kids with her and everything. Like, he is laser focused on Tanya. He was like, this is who I want to be with. I know she's my soulmate and my wife. Tanya was silent. And then she was like, well, and that well cut me and Syngin deep. Because I'm like, girl, you about to marry this man and you don't believe that he's your soulmate? She explains it a bit more in this episode. Still, even her explanation from this episode where she was just saying, I don't really know enough about soulmates to make the assumption that Syngin is my soulmate. Understandable, but honey, you're a woman. You got a lot of them men. You can't tell them everything. They are super sensitive. I got exactly what she was saying, but to say it to Syngin on camera in front of this reader, it was just a lot for him to take in, to just be like, well, I don't know if you're my soulmate because I felt like my ex was my soulmate. Who the hell wants to hear that, Tanya? Who wants to hear that? Really think if Syngin said that about you, that you would be okay? Like, I don't know. I feel like she just sometimes intentionally pushes his buttons just to get some kind of reaction out of him. And there are people like that in relationships. There are people like that, or just in general, who love to push buttons to get reactions out of people. And Tanya gives me that sometimes because some of the stuff that she says, I'm like, it's not necessary. You don't need to voice that. Why else would you voice that than to either invoke harm or a reaction? That's what I think that she was doing. She could also be producing her storyline with Syngin, but I just felt like she went too far because if you're about to marry this man, to say to him and to the world that he is not your soulmate, it's not smart. It's not smart at all. And Syngin was rightfully hurt. He couldn't even talk to her in the confessional. I will say this, right? When Tanya was trying to talk to them in the confessional, he was like, that's enough. That's all right. Stop. It was kind of hot. I was like, okay, Syngin, you better come on with some authority. He shut her and her foolishness down because his feelings was hurt. And I love the fact that he was telling her to stop because he did not want to disrespect her because he was upset. So he was like, let's stop this right now for I say something to harm you. And I don't want to do that because I love you, unlike you. Unlike you, who says stuff to harm me. It's really petty. I just don't feel like Tanya is ready. I think she's just like at a certain age and she thinks that she is, you know, ready to be a wife and a mom, but I don't think she is. How can you talk to your partner like that? Like, how can you talk to somebody that you want to be your husband and your kid's father? And I just really think, I hate to say this, but I feel like Tanya just looks at Syngin as like a sperm donor. I think she just wants to have kids right now. And I think that she knows that there's no way that she can just get Syngin to give her his sperm. Like, there has to be some type of relationship there because he's not that kind of guy. But she set on creating life with him. She has set her sights on Syngin to be her kid's father because she kept on saying it throughout, you know, that entire episode. Well, I see you as my kid's father. Didn't even say husband. And then she says, but I'm not sure if I see you as my soulmate. How you see this man as the father of your children, but not as your soulmate? Sis, you are doing things backwards. Something is not adding up here. What in the holistic healing hell is going on? You can't be playing with all them crystals and spirit guides and not have no kind of wisdom on how to be a stable and supportive partner in your relationship. Syngin, go home. I know you don't want to work at the mines. I know South Africa probably wasn't the best experience for you, and you probably think that there are better opportunities out here for you in America. Probably so. But getting here by way of Tanya is a headache that you do not need. I feel like Syngin is the white Michael and Tanya is the woman of color Angela. I feel like they're the same couple, just in different cultures. Now let's talk about this episode. So Syngin is still pretty beat up from his last little, you know, verbal bashing from Tanya concerning if he's her soulmate or not. I guess he was so beat up he needed a friend. So his friend from South Africa, who now lives in America, who lives in Philly. I was like, oh, you in Philly? How's that going for you? Because that's a black city. Anyway, he comes down to meet with Syngin to just like give him some really great wisdom. And I think he did. I really think he did. And I really think that Syngin needed that. He just needed somebody from back home who was supportive, who could hear him and give him some good advice. Because he's in a situation right now where nobody is really listening to him. They're just telling him what to do, where to be, but they're not listening to this man. And I think he just feels frustrated because one, he's not respected in his relationship and he's not respected in his household because he is somebody who at this point is dependent on everybody to take care of him. Since we're here, can I just say his friend's accent, like they're both from South Africa. White South Africans, I have never heard an accent from white South Africans that was identical. Like I could never place it. I could place an Australian. I could place a Brit, whether a Cockney or proper British, I could place that. But a white South African, even black South African, I can call that accent. White South Africans, I'm like, what planet is this accent from? His friend, I was like, did you and Syngin grow up in the same neighborhood? Or like, how far apart were you guys? Because this accent was so difficult to call. Is that a thing? I know some people from South Africa watch me. Is there a reason why white South African accents vary from person to person? I feel like no matter where you live, even if you're of a different culture, people can place where you're from. You know what I mean? People be like, okay, I might not be able to say if you're from, you know, Alabama or Georgia, but I know you're from the South. No matter what culture you are. You know what I mean? But this accent, I was like, what is going on here? Is this normal? Let me know, South Africa. Hit me up in the comment section below. Emily and Sasha, Lord, I feel bad for saying this, but I didn't miss them. We didn't get a lot of them this episode. We didn't get a lot of them last episode, and I was okay with it. This couple is boring, and I'm also I don't feel like this is the kind of train wreck that I want to watch with Emily. I just don't feel like she's marrying a really good partner. From what I've seen on this show, I just would want better for her, but I just don't think that she has the wherewithal to know that she can get better. I feel like this woman is settling, but I don't think she knows that she is. And I'm just annoyed and uncomfortable watching it because it's just really sad. It's really, really sad to just see this woman be treated this way, and then her family is trying to talk to her about it, and she can't say anything. Because I really feel bad for our sister. What's her sister name? Betsy? I really feel bad for her because she's seeing these things, and she's not only calling out Sasha on it, but she's also telling her sister, like, this is not how you're supposed to be treated. Your man, your boyfriend, your husband, the father of your child should not treat you like this. But Emily is just so happy to have a man. She'll accept it all. And it's just like, girl, I'd rather not watch this train wreck. Although I will say this, right? I'm making comments about this couple from what I have seen on this show. From watching 90 Day Fiancé Pillow Talk, for me, you guys might not feel the same way, but I just feel like this show is heavily scripted, like more scripted than it used to be. So I only make comments based off of this show and what we all see as viewers, but I also take it with a grain of salt because I believe that a lot of this stuff is produced, a lot of these storylines are produced, and I've always felt that way, but I feel like I got the confirmation that I needed from watching 90 Day Fiancé Pillow Talk, because a lot of these couples are really great with each other, really compatible, truly, deeply, madly in love, but we don't see that on the show. We only see their conflict, and that just led me to believe that this show is a bit more scripted than it used to be. So I am not Team Emily and Sasha on this show. I may be Team Emily and Sasha on 90 Day Fiancé Pillow Talk because we might finally get the real them. This might be a heavily produced version of them. You know what I mean? So watch the show, enjoy, take it with a grain of salt, and keep it pushing. These people are giving us a show. Stay woke. I would hate to have my sister say about my fiance's soon-to-be husband. I would hate for her words about him to be, well, I've come to accept so-and-so as my brother-in-law. Like, Betsy was so disappointed in Emily's choice of a husband. She was just like, I've come to just accept that he'll be my brother-in-law. Yeah, I was just like, that's so terrible. You want your family to, they don't have to love your partner as much as you do, but you will want them to love and see the greatness that you see in this partner. And Betsy just don't see it. She see what we see, you know what I mean? And she's not here for Sasha as her brother-in-law or as her sister's husband, you know what I mean? Or as her nephew's father. She's just not here for him at all. Because even when she gave the toast, she was just like, cheers to Emily and Sasha. Like, Betsy is over it. Can we talk about this wedding though? Emily and Sasha said that they did not have a lot of money, so they just put on a small wedding. When they said that they did not have a lot of money, I didn't think that they meant we don't have no money. Guys, they got married in like a Best Western Inn driveway. I was like, is a car going to come down and run over the bridal party? What is going on? And they were literally in a driveway giving their vows. Let me tell you something. I'm from the inner city of Philadelphia. I have seen some budget, cheap, ghetto weddings. I ain't never seen nothing like this. I was just like, all your friends and family just gathered at a driveway? You could at least went to a Burger King. The bar is in hell. Robert and Annie. So Robert know that he messed up with Annie because the next day after this whole not altercation, but you know, the verbal abuse that his brother gave Annie, and she was like, you know, left the bar crying or whatever. Robert felt really bad, and I really believed him in this scene. He felt really, really bad, and he took Annie to shop for some patent leather kitten heels. Okay, in the clearance section, because one thing Robert is for sure that we know, cheap, okay? So Robert decided as an apology to not only apologize to her sincerely. I really loved and appreciated his apology because Annie deserved that. He also, you know, gave her a little gift because Annie likes nice things, okay? Even if it's clearance, okay? She likes nice things. So a part of his apology were these kitten heel pumps. I was just like, oh. We wearing kitten heels in 2020, okay. What I loved about this, Annie was eating it up because when she asked, you know, Robert how much, you know, and he was just like, no, it don't matter the cost. She was like, okay. I'm working on my Dominican. But you know, I love that she was feeling good and vindicated, and I love that Robert did that on camera because the last time we saw Robert and Annie was getting verbally abused by his brother. So I love the fact that we come back on camera, we see him saying that behavior was not okay and that he is sorry. I don't like the excuses that he made for his brother because there's no excuse for that kind of behavior. I don't care if you're in a bad relationship. You're a grown man with 7 kids. You should know how to talk to people. Now let's talk about Ben and Stephanie. Wow, this went way left. So Robert and Annie sit down with Ben and Stephanie because the last time that Annie sat down with Stephanie, things didn't go well, right? So So because they're Bryson's grandparents, I get that Robert wants to mend this relationship, get all the dirt out, and make sure that everybody can work together as a family, because he's marrying Annie. That's going to be Bryson's stepmama. And Ben and Stephanie are Bryson's grandparents, so they're not going anywhere either. So I get him wanting to get everybody together to fix this. However, Ben and Stephanie didn't want to work anything out. I don't know how we always end up here with this group of people meeting together, because it always starts off so nice. You know, Ben and Stephanie sit down, they're talking to Annie, they're talking to Robert, they're saying she looks nice, they're giving off compliments. Annie, rightfully so, has her guard up, right? Because from the last time that she met Stephanie, it did not go well. But I'm just looking at this situation and I'm just like, oh, this is great. Everybody's being really cordial. Then Annie starts to warm up. And I think what happened was, I don't know if this was intentional, what Stephanie did after this, but I think what happened was that when Annie said, Bryson calls me mama, that pissed Stephanie off. Because as soon as Annie said that, all of a sudden she pulls out the checkbook and she was just like, well, we see that Robert's getting everything that you want, but he don't have no money, so I don't think that you're getting what you want. So how about this? I write you a check for some money, and then I buy you a one-way ticket to the Dominican Republic so you can go back and live the life that you want, and Robert could be here with Bryce, because this isn't convenient for you. Trying to act like she's doing it in Annie's best interest, but she wasn't. It was so mean of Stephanie to do that, but I think she did that because that pissed her off. When Annie said, Bryson calls me mama. But my thing is, why are you getting mad at Annie because Bryson calls her mama? Bryson wouldn't be calling her mama if your daughter was doing her job, if she was in his life. So you need to be mad at your daughter and yourself, because even when Stephanie starts going back and forth at Annie was just like, how dare you? Bryson hasn't even seen you in 2 months, the whole time that I've been here. You haven't even seen him or called him. I had to set that up for you. And then that just set Stephanie off even more. So she and Ben start spouting out some ignorance. I will say this. I don't think Ben knew that she was going to do that checkbook thing, because when Stephanie pulled that checkbook out and was just like, I'm giving you a one-way ticket back to the Dominican Republic, Ben was like, and he just looked at Annie because he knew that something was about to pop off. But although I don't feel like he knew that Stephanie was going to do that, he, sad to say, like a good husband, backed her up in her foolishness. You know what I mean? Like, you know, you always got to rock out with your wife, even if she's wrong. And then he starts saying these ignorant things to Annie, just like Stephanie. Oh, I didn't bring you here, but I could send you back. How dare you? How dare you? And the whole time I'm like, Robert, where in the hell are you? Because they are talking about your fiance like this. Robert finally showed up, but I feel like too many things were said to Annie from Ben and Stephanie before Robert got involved. Again, he always waits to the last minute to defend Annie, or the next day to defend her, and not when she needs to be defended in that moment. What are you saying? No, she's going to be here with me. After they done told her that they would send her back to the Dominican Republic, how much money does she want? All because Bryson calls her mama? She wouldn't have to if y'all did your damn job with your daughter. But y'all didn't. So Annie is now filling the space. And I'm just like, why as a grandmother, as grandparents of somebody that you supposedly love, y'all love Bryson so much, who you haven't seen in 2 months, but y'all love him so much, why would you take not only stability, but joy away from this kid? Because we all see that he loves Annie. This is something that he actually needs. Annie is something that this child craves and needs, and it's a mother. Unfortunately, for whatever reason, his mother, Stephanie's daughter, Ben's daughter or stepdaughter, has stepped out of the picture. So here's Annie in fulfilling that, and obviously this boy is very happy with her if he's already calling her mama, and we see how he is with her in their scenes. Why would you want to take that from him? Because you want to punish her because he loves her and he calls her mama? Why don't you look in the mirror and punish yourself? You need to, because your child should be there. Something happened in her life where she was not able to take on this role. You raised her. Check yourself. Don't check Annie. I felt so bad for her in this entire situation because Ben and Stephanie had no right. They were just so wrong. And I was so disappointed because it started off so well. They all seem to be getting along. And then Annie said, Bryson calls me mama, and it got petty out of nowhere. This was just really ugly, and I felt bad for Annie because even though Ben and Stephanie were wrong, they apologized, and I'm thinking they're getting back on track. They take back the apology and start cussing her out even more. And I'm like, do you guys not realize that Annie is an upgrade for Robert? You know what I mean? And something that Bryson really needs. Why are y'all blocking Robert and Bryson's blessing? Annie, go home, sis. Go home. You could do so much better in your own country. Mike and Natalie. Nothing much happened with Mike and Natalie this episode. We just got a bunch of Mike sitting down with his lawyer weighing his options. And I was just like, you know what, Natalie? I told you through my YouTube channel that you better stop playing these games with this man. These coy back and forth. I don't know. I'm not sure. Do I love you? I knew he was going to get tired of that. Now he's over here trying to sever your visa. Sis, you playing games. You about to mess up your bag. You better Skype that man and just let him know that you were having a bad day because you will not be in the United States with Uncle Bojangles. I need to see how this whole thing is working out because a lot of you guys told me that Natalie is already in the United States. I need cameras at Mike's farm now. I want to see a conversation happen between Natalie and Uncle Bojangles. I want to see Natalie walk on that farm with her purse and her cute little boots and her goose down jacket. I want to see her walk up on that farm and just be like, oh, so this is my life. Jesus, please help me. Anna and Moose. I don't believe it. I don't believe anything about this couple anymore. I really, really don't because it's not making sense. And normally on these reality TV shows, when it doesn't make sense, it's because it's fake. It's just not adding up. This whole storyline is not adding up. So Moose goes home to Turkey, right? Then Anna calls the cameras back and it's just like, well, something is developing now. And all of a sudden, Moose wants to come back to the United States and he wants to see if they could reissue the visa. This never happens. And when it does, it's very rare. Even Anna herself said it. She was just like, I don't know, because this is very rare. This rarely happens. I don't know if he can come back, but we're going to try. Okay. So all of a sudden now we're waiting with bated breath to see if Moose was able to get his visa reissued. Somehow, under Trump's presidency, this man from a foreign country was able to get his visa reissued. Really? Really? I don't believe this for 1 second. The way we kicking out people who was born here, you mean to tell me that he was able to jump out and come back in record time? I don't believe it. I don't believe it. Let me tell you something. They had Moose chilling in some Airbnb in Santa Monica because I was looking at the B-roll and I was just like, this looked like Santa Monica. They got him in some little grimy beach town. There's no way he's back in Turkey. And they could have took that B-roll footage of Turkey or the front of his apartment of him getting in a car in Turkey from any other time. So I just don't believe this. This is not adding up to me. This is not adding up to me. It's not making sense. It's too many holes in this story. He was able to get his visa and records reissued when there are so many people trying to get into the United States of America. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. And Annie is giving us her best Meryl Streep. And she's just like, oh, he has to hurry up and get here because when he does get here, we only have like 22 hours to get married. So he has to get here right away. Don't play me. Play checkers. But don't play me, sis. I'm not buying anything about this storyline. And what upsets me is the fact that she's dragging her children through this lie. She sits down with them and she's just like, well, just want to let you guys know Moose is coming back. And the boys are like, oh, okay. The middle one was like, I would love to have him back. We really get along. And I'm like, this just doesn't make sense. This just doesn't make sense. You cannot do that to kids and then have this kind of reaction, this non-reaction. There's no way that they watched their mother fall apart from this guy that they were suspicious of from the get-go, come into her life, break her heart and leave. Then she sits down with them at Chuck E. Cheese and it's just like, he's getting in town tomorrow. We're going to get married. How do you guys feel? We're great. That never happens. Annie, and you and Moose's, what's her name, Anna? You and Moose, the gnome couple, the gnome beekeeper couple, y'all playing games. And y'all played it too sloppy because I was with y'all in the beginning, but then stuff just wasn't adding up to me. And what really started with me was when Moose FaceTimed his family. The way he was going on about how she has kids. If I tell them that she has kids, they will not let me go. And then we get the FaceTime and the mom was just like, oh, I told you that. Just come home. And it was edited up, you know what I mean? And I was just like, you know what? They probably had a producer in a hijab doing this freaking FaceTime video. This don't make sense. This because the way he was bigging up his parents, like they hated Andy, they would disown him. He's the first son. And then we get this FaceTime conversation and they're like, oh, really? She got kids? Oh, well, come home. I'm like, they're not cussing you out, threatening death. Like the way y'all was acting was like this was the end of the world. And all they said was come home and you packed your bag and left a woman that was fitting to house you, feed you, and have sex with you for the rest of your life. And you 37 looking 54 and a beekeeper? Buddy, stop lying to me. It doesn't make sense, guys. And unless she's trying to get her kids on the Disney Channel with this whole acting, because her oldest was just like, oh no, I don't want to be a part of the wedding. I'm busy. I don't want to do it. Listen, keep your kids booked and busy. I'm not hating. So if this is what you're trying to do, fine. If not, stop dragging these kids through this lie. Stop it. I will say though, I would love to see the youngest on the Disney Channel. He's so adorable. He's so adorable because when Andy was asking them if they were okay with it, he was just like, I'll go, but I don't want to be bored. Please make it awesome. Get that baby an agent. He needs to be on everybody's TV screen. He is so adorable. That's one thing about Andy. She makes some gorgeous kids. Her sons are just so handsome and adorable. That baby, I love him. He's so cute in them cheeks. Just make it awesome. He is womb fire. Definitely womb fire. Woo. Michael and Juliana. So we finally have the wedding of Michael and Juliana. We see Juliana in her wedding dress crying because she hasn't received a call from her family and none of them are there. And I'm just like, girl, why are you crying? Didn't you just say you ain't want your family to come here because you ain't want them begging and trying to get any money out of you and your new white husband? Isn't that what you said? She ain't say it like that or with all the stuff that I added, but you know what I mean. Like, that's what she basically said to her family. She was just like, listen, I got this come up. I don't need y'all over here messing this up for me. So keep your behind home. How you gonna say that to your mother and think that she's gonna call you and wish you the best of luck? Get out of here. Get out of here. You told them not to come. Those people, those gorgeous people, because one thing we have found out about Brazil, everybody's gorgeous. You told them gorgeous people to stay home. Maybe Juliana is the average one in the family. Maybe she ain't want them sisters coming here. Michael is just looking like, I ain't get the baddest model in the family. I'm fitting to upgrade. Maybe that's what it is. But you can tell that she a baby scammer because I would bring all my fine sisters over here and we all would have been scamming these rich boys in Connecticut. It ain't a game. So anyway, she's upset that they haven't called her and I'm just like, you're delusional. I would not call you either. I would not call you either. You told them don't come because you don't want them gimme. You gonna say that in front of strangers. How dare you? I will rock your skull as soon as you got off that plane. Like you gonna embarrass me and act like we some bums? Girl, bye. All that aside, she looked amazing. She looked amazing. The dress was really cute. It was a little old, but you know, she's marrying an old guy. So, you know, do what you gotta do. So we see her in this beautiful dress walk down to get married to Michael and Sarah. Of course, Sarah, who is the third person in his marriage, she officiates the wedding. And I'm just like, Juliana, you have to have some say so because I would never. I don't care how cool my man is with his ex. She's not officiating our wedding. She's not even coming. Are you kidding me? But Juliana ain't got no money, so she don't have no power in this relationship. So she has to be okay with everything. All in all, I thought it was a beautiful wedding. The kids seemed to really enjoy it. They gave some great words. They were really cute. This is the first time I saw them as children, because normally every time we see them, they're giving us a smooth 44. But this is the first time we saw them as kids, and I thought it was cute. It was a cute little wedding. You know what I mean? Juliana is officially an American citizen. You know, sister's doing what she has to do to secure the bag, and we ain't hating. We ain't never hating on a woman getting a come up. Not over here. Not over here. I will say this though. Sarah was lit. She had way too many celebration champagnes because homegirl in the confession, she started using them pterodactyl arms, and she was just like, I'm so happy that my ex met Juliana. I know that I should be upset because I'm 41. My ex upgraded to a better model, but you know, it's okay. I'm happy. Oh, no, you're drunk. You're drunk, because if you were sober, you would have never said that. You would have never told us your age. You would have never told us that this man upgraded to a better model. You were drunk, and they got you good, sis. They got you good. Blake and Jasmine, listen. Jasmine, you got to come around to that boy's friends, because he was about to dump you and send you back to Finland over his friends. For me, Jasmine has already crossed the line with how she talks about Blake's mama to Blake. But Blake was like, I don't care nothing about that. To hell with my mama. You talk about my friends. You don't come to their 30th birthday party. We're done. He was so serious about ending it with her over this birthday party. I will say this. Jasmine got the memo. She was just like, okay, I'm sorry. Because she knew. She was just like, I'm about to mess up the bag. Let me just apologize to this fool and dedicate a portion of my time to hanging out with his corny friends. Listen, I get wanting your partner to be a part of, you know, your inner circle, to be a part of your community. I absolutely understand that. But it's a lot with Blake. Jasmine is just like, we hang out with him all the time. I just moved here. I want to be with him. She hasn't even seen her sister as much as she has seen Blake's friends. It's a lot. So I understand where she's coming from with that. But sis, if you want to stay here, you gotta deal with them corny friends. I'm sorry. I would never wish that on anybody, not even my enemy. But this is what you married into, sis. This is what you gotta do. Go to them corny parties and just bite your lip and smile. Team Blake's mama, and here is why. So Blake and Jasmine's parents and her sister and Blake's mama sit down, have a dinner, you know, where everybody, you know, meets each other. And the mom right out the gate is just like, so Jasmine, what are you doing for work? Are you going to work? Are you going to go to school? And Jasmine is just like, I'm not working. I told you that already. When she said that, I was like, you don't say that to no black mama, especially a black mama that don't like you. Girl, you trying to make this hard on yourself. So then, you know, Blake's mom is like, so what do you guys think about that? Basically, like, you are okay with her coming out here not working. And the parents are just like, oh, well, we already knew that. So Blake's mama don't have nobody on her side, right? You know, I have to be honest here, but you know that woman, all she wanted was for Blake to marry a nice black girl from the Kojic church. That's all she wanted. You know what? She would have even taken non-denominational, but she wanted her son to marry a nice black Christian woman. It's all on her. It is all on her, and Blake has brought everything home but that. So she's accepted it, but what she's not going to accept is taking care of this boy. That's why I'm on her side, because she keeps on trying to let Jasmine know that this out here, LA is expensive. There's no way that you guys are going to be able to survive on one income, let alone what Blake is bringing in. So she's trying to let her know, before you get cozy, trying to be this housewife and get barefoot and pregnant, this man can't take care of you. And why is she saying that? Because she's taking care of him. Blake lives with his parents. I don't even care about how old he is, because I'm not the type of person. I feel like if you don't want to move out of your parents' home, you don't have to. Especially in this day and age, millennials ain't got no damn money. We got to stay with our parents as long as we can. And especially since I moved out when I was 17. So I live with my mom now, and that's just because I spent so much time away from her. Now that I have, especially when she's getting older, I don't know. You also know I hate that American thing of when you're 18, you got to get out of the home and, they throw you to the wolves and you got to survive. I'm not into that. So I don't have a problem with his age. But it is very apparent that the mother and the father is helping to still take care of Blake. He's living in a condo with them. I don't believe that he's paying full rent, especially if he's a CEO of, up and coming, music company. He's starting out, he's an entrepreneur. Entrepreneur just means broke. We ain't got it because we're stepping out and we're doing something in our family that has never been done before. So we need all the support that we could get. So I know she's taking care of him. So what she's saying to Jasmine is, when he marries you, I'm done. And I believe this lady. Her and her husband, they are giving them that condo. I guarantee you, if they are not paying that rent, they taking that condo back. And Blake and Jasmine are going to have to be in some struggle motel because they don't give me the kind of parents that will take care of a husband and a wife. Now, she'll take care of her son, but she's not going to take care of her son, his wife, and their babies. That's too much to ask anyway, especially somebody at retirement age. So she's telling Jasmine, you got to get a job because I'm stepping out when you officially step in. And let me tell you something, Jasmine, you gonna have to get to work as soon as possible. No part-time stuff. Because Jasmine is just like, well, I could do some stuff. No, honey, you're gonna need a full-time job with benefits. LA is expensive. LA is expensive. Unless you are a part of the 1%, you can't survive off of one income. And even that is a lot to ask off of one income, especially when you're making like 300 or $1 million a year. That's still not a lot of money in Los Angeles. And we know Blake ain't bringing that home. So sis, you don't want to work. Blake told you that you couldn't work, but that is not true. Because Blake is still being financially supported by his parents, and he is not letting you know that that is all about to end. So that's what I think she's talking about. She's not talking about this girl coming here and taking advantage and siphoning her son. I think that's a part of the issue, but I think the main issue is she is not going to help them out financially anymore. And we know his stepfather is not digging in his wallet to help out anymore. Stepdads always want the kids out as soon as possible. So I'm just looking at Blake like, you better get your wife and you better let her know you gonna need to work. If not, I don't see this couple surviving at all. Financial woes at the beginning of a relationship or even in the middle of a relationship will end that relationship real quick. Michael and his abuser. So Angela lets the viewers know that she is being bombarded in Nigeria. I was like, what? Bombarded. Her words, not mine. She feels like she's being bombarded because they're asking her a lot of questions. They're asking Michael a lot of questions, and they're giving really sound advice to the both of them. And I don't think that the family was being rude. I just think that they were being blunt and honest and just being like, if you can't give him a kid and if you can't get him over there to the United States, let's end this. Like, if you can't do these things, this is what we require of you. If you're going to take our family member out of our country to a foreign country, we will not be able to get to him right away. We want to make sure that he's in a good situation. He's not. I think they just see that she's a white woman and they see these cameras and they're just like, okay, well, let it happen. That's what I think. I think that if the cameras weren't there, I don't think that Michael's family would be okay or would have okayed this relationship. I think they have all come around and probably talked to Michael and have realized that this is going to be a come up for all of them. I don't think that they have seen, because you know what, they haven't, because we're just seeing it on this season. I don't think that they know the squalor that he's going to be living in. The squalor and the verbal, mental, physical, and sexual abuse that he is going to be enduring. I don't think they know anything about that because right now Angela is real chill. And even when they're coming at her, she's still really chill. And I told you guys, she only does this or bullies people that she knows that she can bully. She wasn't pulling none of that in that household. Not because she loves Michael and she wants to marry him, because she knows that she will get her skull rocked. She knows it. That is the kind of bully she is. A coward. And she only does it to people who she feels like she can intimidate. But she knew she couldn't do that with nobody in that family. That family was the water for her fire, and she was not going to pull nothing in there because they would have lit her up. Know this, guys. I was watching how she was dealing with them. I was just like, you ain't no dummy, Angela. You ain't no dummy. You a bully to those who will accept it. But you ain't no dummy. So that's it for me. What did you guys think about this episode? Let a sister know in the comment section below. And if you like what you see here, please like, comment, subscribe, and share. And I will see you next week for the following episode of 90 Day Fiancé. Love you guys. Bye.